villain of the week this week, Patrick Starr versus Waylon Smithers. A couple of famous sidekicks going on here. Patrick, as dumb as he is, I feel like he's pretty strong, especially like you live under a rock. Like you have to have some kind of like physical fortitude. Smithers, maybe he's not as physically apt, but I feel like the guy's got heart. I feel like there's moments in The Simpsons where you see him step up to the plate, and obviously he's like been a closeted gay man for like 35 years. Like he's no stranger to hard times, right? So when it comes to going toe to toe with Patrick, I think he might surprise some people.
Yeah, my thing with Smithers is, as much as maybe he doesn't want to do it, I feel like he's become accustomed from working under Mr. Burns for so long to like doing really horrible stuff, like burying body type stuff. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
And I'm sure when he first started, he didn't want to do it, and he might still resist, but I think at this point he's probably buried so many bodies he doesn't even feel the same emotion, right? He just does it without even like it's just another, you know what I mean? It's just another one.
He's buried his moral compass.
Yeah, exactly. So sure. I think that plays a huge role, and he does get pissed, I feel like, at times.
Oh yeah.
And he gets like really mad, which, I think just Patrick Starr being as dumb as he is would piss Smithers off, like into wanting to try to kick his ass.
So Patrick Starr is basically Lenny from Of Mice and Men.
yeah, I would agree with you.
That's a 1-to-1 comparison
and
for sure.
On a physicality rate, bigger, stronger, most likely. However, and this is, I believe, the deciding factor, don't starfish regenerate?
I was keeping that one in my back pocket, but I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, like,
isn't that? I think that's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
This is Hulk versus Tony Stark, but the Hulk just keeps regenerating.
Yeah, I'm happy that you said that. I was keeping that in my back pocket for when Andy started defending Smithers. I was going to be I was going to be like, how are you going to kill? What are you going to do? Cut his? I mean, they just keep regenerating.
And I feel like Patrick Starr just has that inner fury, which Smithers might, but it's not on the same level.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think Patrick Starr is probably more inept to be stronger than he even realizes. Lenny comparison again, and beat the shit out of Smithers. And Smithers I don't think would go down without a fight, but I think eventually Smithers would just give up.
I think he'd run out of steam.
Smithers doesn't maybe quite have as much of a will to live because of all the battering that he's been through in life.
Interesting.
Whereas Patrick, one, doesn't know better, and two, like, what are you gonna do?
I think Smithers is too apathetic to formulate a strategy.
Yeah. Yep, I can see that. Well, because he never doesn't have to.
And that's the smartest statement I think I've ever made in my life.
Well, he doesn't have to because, again, Mr. Burns is essentially telling him what to do all the time.
Yeah.
He just has to execute. Nobody's going to be there, telling him to put the dogs on Patrick. He's going to have to figure out that he's, how to do that himself. And
I do think if Smithers is going to run into this fight, guns blazing, it is going to be in kind of a blind rage, just like trying to hit whatever he can. And, I think he's just going to run out of steam. And Patrick, mentally, despite perhaps his IQ is lacking, but no matter what mood he's in, I think he's got the mental edge. If he's, in more of a rage than Smithers, he's got it. If he's into, like, his passive Patrick, state of mind, he's not even going to care what's going on. So he's still gonna win, and he's so dumb you can't beat him.
and not only that, like, not only does he regenerate because he's a starfish, but also his pain tolerance, we assume, is incredibly high because he's always doing stupid shit.
I mean, doesn't he literally put a nail through his head?
He does at one point.
Yeah. Honestly, you guys have totally turned me around. I hate to say it.
I will say this though. To be fair, I mean, Patrick Starr could probably, like, get captured in, like, a fishing net.
Oh, yeah.
Smithers might find his way out of that.
Yeah. I was going to say, not even you could capture him with anything.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Smithers is basically Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows, who is proved to be very, very, very skilled at living and thriving and surviving
Hard to
and getting
kill.
out of sticky situations.
That's a
Hard to
that's
kill. Hermit
man,
crab style.
I wish Smithers versus Guillermo
Ooh.
would be. I wish you watch What We Do in the Shadows, because that is a fight to see.
Yes.
But Guillermo's got that Van Helsing blood, baby. You know what I
There you
mean?
go.
That's on his side. And honestly, that is what kicks in his natural ability and
Correct.
gets him out of scrapes constantly, where
That's true.
Smithers doesn't have that. That's the one difference I would say between the two. Smithers doesn't have that extra gear
No, but
biologically.
he does have a Malibu Stacy collection that's unrivaled, so
For what it's worth, 100%. For
Yeah.
what it's worth.
I don't know if that
yeah.
makes him a good fighter, but
Could be. Some of those dolls, are pretty rare.
One of my favorite cars in Simpsons Hit and Run.
This is the Malibu
Malibu
Stacy
Stacy.
car.
you gotta be a certain type of person though, like to put up with Mr. Burns 24/7 to wait on that man.
Well, he
like,
loves them.
Yeah.
I get that, but like, man, that's a formidable trait that I don't possess.
But I think that's why, no offense to the guy, but that's why I have the suspicion that if he gets in this fight, at some point he might realize he just doesn't have the will to dig his way out, because he's like, what am I going back to? Get yelled at by Mr. Burns again?
I think he likes it.
Yeah, he does. He does like that. I mean, I agree that he is going to run out of steam.
But there's times where he's like, like, again, like, this is what I'm doing.
I mean, only in the Who Shot Mr. Burns episode.
Is this coming down to a coin flip?
I mean, I'm
I
taking
think
Patrick
I
Star.
think it's Pat. Yeah, I still
Yeah.
think it's Pat. I mean, Smithers, I feel like for whatever good point we can come up with for Smithers, Patrick still has a way to beat it.
And he
Ferocity,
regenerates.
tenacity.
And he regenerates.
And I like, yeah. So I'm taking Patrick Star.
Yeah. I didn't expect it. I hate to go against the Simpsons character, but I got to
Cool.
pick Patrick.
Cool.
We'll lock him in.
Are you going Patrick as well?
Yeah.
All right. 3-0 clean sweep. That was this week's Win of the Week. Vote on that on Instagram. Patrick Star versus Smithers.